You can resist an unlawful arrest.
What was this crime?
Asking for directions. This is Michigan resident Luther Gonzalez Hall.
And the police officer involved is Marvin Sanders. He works for the Dearborn Police Department.
Luther was riding his bike home from his girlfriend's house. Being unsure of his way home, would see a Dearborn officer and stop and ask for directions.
Luther would say that the officer was rude to him, so he went inside a White Castle next door to ask them. Officer Sanders would follow in right behind him.
The cop would make contact with Luther and tell him he already had directions, being very confrontational.
Luther would apologize to the officer and attempt to leave the White Castle.
The officer would then follow Luther outside, and there would be a scuffle as his body camera fell off.
But Luther can still be heard on the body camera, saying "you're choking me," and he would sustain multiple injuries.
And Luther would be arrested for resisting and opposing an officer.
Thankfully, those charges were dropped. Luther ended up having to have multiple surgeries on his foot and now walks with a permanent limp.
And last month, Luther won over $9 million in a civil rights lawsuit. Do you think that officer should be criminally charged? Let us know.